Thank you. Honorable members, let's go to the second item on the order paper, which is obituaries and other ceremonial matters. It is with profound sadness that we formally note the passing away of Reverend Emmanuel Motola of the Zion Christian Church, one of the biggest churches on the continent, who passed away on the 17th of September 2020. Reverend Motola was chief aider to ZCC leader Bishop Barnabas Lekganyane and the spokesperson for the church. Also, Mr. Royston Hindley, Deputy Secretary in Western Cape Legislature, who passed away on the 18th of September 2020 and was laid to rest on 24 September 2020. Mrs. Emily Sibisi, mother to Mrs. Nomusa Gina, who is parliamentary operations in this legislature, and Mr. Bongani Sibisi, the former COO of this legislature, who passed away on the 4th of October 2020 and was laid to rest on Saturday, the 10th of October. The Deputy Chairperson of the South African Human Rights Commission, the Vikaran Priscilla Supal Jana, who was also an anti-apartheid struggle lawyer, who passed away on Saturday, the 10th of October 2020. The chairperson of the Financial and Fiscal Commission, Professor Daniel Plakis, passed away on Saturday, the 10th of October 2020. Professor Plakis was also appointed chairperson of the FFC Commission on the 1st of June. He also served the Republic of South Africa in numerous positions in government prior to his appointment to the FFC. Our condolences also go to the families of the victims of the road accidents in the province of KwaZulu-Natal in the recent past. In particular, the Mdali family that has lost 13 members over the weekend when their family perished in a horror taxi accident between Bulwa and Anderbeck in the Herekwala district. On behalf of the legislature, I wish to request members of the legislature to remember all those that have succumbed to the COVID-19 pandemic in your thoughts and prayers. Also, remember the frontline and healthcare workers in this time. Let's also observe a moment of silent prayer. And it's interesting because the spread started with the NKK but ended up with the stick. May their souls rest in peace. I thought that IT you would have dealt with Miss Mazibuko's, you would have dealt with it immediately. Item number 3 is announcements by the Speaker. The first announcement is regarding the reason for the special sitting and the absence of notices of bills or motions on the order paper. Honorable members, the sitting today is intended to process and confer a final and a voting mandate on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill to the NCOP timelessly. Members are informed that today's order paper will not accommodate notices of bills or motions as per agreement of parties. Honorable members, you are reminded that this virtual sitting will be conducted in terms of the rules for virtual meetings are read with our existing standing rules. In terms of Rule 6 of the rules for virtual meetings, the quorum requirement for virtual sittings of the House are provided for in the Constitution and the standing rules of the KZN Legislature. Standing Rule 44 of the standing rules provides as follows. At least 1/3 of all the members of the legislature must be present to constitute a plenary meeting of the legislature. The rules of virtual meetings also define present as follows. Present means the attendance of a member in a virtual meeting by electronic means in a manner that allows the member to join and participate in the meeting. The Secretary has confirmed that we have the required 1/3 of members present in order to commence with the virtual sitting. The sitting is therefore properly constituted. Rule 7D of the rules for virtual sittings also state that the presiding officer must, before or at the start of the discussion on the matter, expressly inform members if a party vote will be taken. In line with the above, I wish to confirm that voting on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill, Bill 8B 2018, will be done on a party-by-party basis. A party vote is a collective vote on behalf of all the members of a party present at the virtual sitting, up to the total membership of that party in the sitting. However, I will allow an opportunity for any individual member to vote differently from his or her party or to abstain if any member wishes to do so. We will now proceed with the rest of the matters on the order paper. Apologies. Honorable members, we earlier received an apology which has since been withdrawn from Honorable M. Bintuli, who was attending the opening of the Ngongolwane pedestrian bridge as part of October Transport Month program. An apology from Honorable A.V. Khoza, who is attending to organizational commitments. Honorable M.W. Twala, organizational commitments. Honorable G.F. Mjali, family bereavement. Honorable F.A. Rogers, who is in Jozini for Finance Portfolio Committee oversight. And Honorable S.E. Manmele, who has party commitments. Honorable members, the Deputy Speaker is also tabled an apology because he is not well. You are also reminded, honorable members, that Honorable P.P. Herricks is still on leave and she has a baby. We congratulate her at the arrival of her baby. We wish them well whilst she is still on leave. I want to take this opportunity to wish a belated happy birthday to the following members: Honorable N. Dombela, who was born on the 25th of September, Honorable N. Dlamini, 28th September, Honorable the Chairperson of Committees, Honorable Artim Tembu, on the 5th of October, on the World Teachers' Day. Honorable members, I hope you had a pleasant day. May your wishes now and beyond be fulfilled. Honorable members, after the adjournment of the sitting of Thursday, 15 October 2020, honorable members are requested to remain logged into Microsoft Teams for a briefing by the Financial and Fiscal Commission. Announcements. We will move, honorable members, to announcements or reports by the Premier. Honorable Premier. Oh, before I do that, there was an apology for late arrival by the Honorable Premier and an apology by the MEC Education, who is attending a portfolio committee, National Portfolio Committee for Basic Education. Is there any member of the Executive Council or whether the Premier has arrived to deal with item number 4, announcements or reports by the Office of the Premier?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we do wish to tender the Premier's arrival late and also to say that there is no announcement at this point. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, we move to, thank you, Honorable LOGB, and we will move to item number 5, tablings. The first tabling is from the Legislature, the annual report 1920, and also the report on Represented Political Parties Fund 1920. We also want to table the Municipal Finance Management 1920 fourth quarter review closeout report. Guardian of the Public Purse by the Department of Finance. The Department of Arts and Culture to table the KwaZulu-Natal Amafa and Research Institute Strategic Plan for 2021 to 24-25 financial years. KZN Amafa and Research Institute Annual Performance Plan for 2020 to 2021. Are there any other tablings that were not mentioned that any member wants to do? I will allow any member that wants to make any tablings. Are there any tablings? Honorable Dube Ngube, your hand seems to be up. Honorable LOGP.
No, Honorable Speaker, I think I didn't lower it. Thank you. My apologies.
No problem. Let's move to item number 6, formal motions or notices by the Chief Whip. Chief Whip.
No formal motions from the side of the Chief Whip, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move to item number 7, orders of the day, which is the debate and voting on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill. I will start with the report of the chairperson of the Social Development Portfolio Committee on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill, Bill 8B 2018, to be tabled by the Honorable G.N. Swart Bointombela for 5 minutes. Honorable Swart Bointombela.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to read the report of the Social Portfolio Committee, Social Development Portfolio Committee on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill, B8B 2018, in terms of Rule 243 of the Standing Rules. Honorable Speaker, in terms of Section 42(4) of the Constitution, the National Council of Provinces represents provinces to ensure that provincial interests are considered in the national sphere of government by participating in national legislative processes. The Social Assistance Amendment Bill, B8B 2018, which is a Section 76 bill in terms of the Constitution, was referred to the Social Development Portfolio Committee in terms of Rule 241(1). In turn, the legislature is in terms of Section 118 of the Constitution compelled to facilitate the public involvement in the legislative process of the legislature and its committees. The committee then resolved to hold 2 public hearings on the 15th of September 2020 and 2nd October 2020 at Umkhanyakude Jozini Emachibini Hall and eThekwini Durban Exhibition Centre. These were widely advertised in the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature website, the print media on the Witness, Daily News, and Ilanga newspapers, and the chairperson had slots on Vuma, FM, and Radio Boputaland community radio stations to do a public education briefing on the bill. Copies of the bill were also distributed to all local municipalities as well as district municipalities and were also made available during the hearings. Honorable Speaker, the discussions on the bill, the objects of the bill as well as the public involvement processes undertook by the committee in terms of Section 118 of the Constitution are highlighted in the negotiating mandate report. Proposed amendments were attached as an annexure to the negotiating mandate presented to the Select Committee on Health and Social Services for further consideration. We have, however, received the minutes of the Select Committee and responses from the department indicating that some of our comments were noted and there will be future technical amendments to the Act or regulations will be formulated to accommodate the committee's proposal. Honorable Speaker, the committee cannot ignore the fact that some of the proposals submitted were not addressed. However, considering that there is a court judgment that compels Parliament to pass the amendment bill to give effect to the CSG policy, the committee has no option but to support the bill in its current form, with the understanding that there will be a further amendment bill to address issues raised by the committee in its negotiating mandate. In conclusion, Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, the committee, as it dealt with the bill, it supported the bill, and they also supported the Chairperson's report. And Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that the Legislature must confer authority on 1, the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Delegation to the NCOP to cast a vote in favor of the Social Assistance Amendment Bill, B8B 2018, at the relevant NCOP Select Committee. And 2, the head of the delegation to the NCOP or delegate designated by the head of the delegation to cast a vote in favor of the Social Assistance Bill, B8B 2018, at the NCOP plenary. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is the report of the Social Development Portfolio Committee's final mandate on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill, B8B 2018. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The next speaker for 5 minutes is Honorable P.H. Mbatacele of the ANC. Honorable Member.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, Honorable Members of the Legislature.
Honorable Mbatacele.
Yes.
Honorable Mbatacele, please switch on. Yes, thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you. You have switched it off once more. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive, members of the Legislature, I feel honored and privileged to be part of this important debate on social assistance and amendment bill. I also salute my party, the African National Congress, as it has put certain upon me to be part of this debate and has fulfilled our people's expectations in its role as the leader of the government business in KwaZulu-Natal. This month, Honorable Speaker, we commemorate social development under the 2020 theme, I quote, strengthening our response to recovery through DSD services, close quote. It is celebrated annually to mark our nation's commitment to caring for the most vulnerable in society. Speaker, the COVID-19 pandemic has uncovered numerous realities in our country. For example, poverty, inequality, unemployment, and gender-based violence. On account of the economic stoppage, our people have lost their jobs, and this has prompted an expansion in number of poor and vulnerable people. Accordingly, the provision of support in the form of child support grant and social relief of distress has been vital in providing a safety net to those most in need. Consequently, the ANC-led government aims to inform communities of the various social security programs available to them and how these can be accessed. It is therefore with humility that I approach the focus of today's debate. Honorable Speaker, 65 years ago, the Congress of the People adopted a democratic document which measure essentially pointed towards transforming South Africa. Driving into any city, town, and village, one's first sight is generally the most physically and obvious of the Freedom Charter's fulfillment. There shall be houses, security, and comfort. Indeed, the Freedom Charter is not just a document in our history, but instead is an incredible beacon for many South Africans, and it continues to form a basis of the progressive constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Additionally, as we keep working with our people, we extend the delivery of social administration to the poor, and we embark to reorientate the provision not only to the minority but to the whole population to build a better life for all. The ANC conference resolved that child-headed household, including homeless children, must be prioritized in social protection policy and in EPWP opportunities. It is worth noting that South Africa is confronted with expanding number of offences, and by far most of these offences are brought up in protection and secure conditions generally with grandparents or other relatives. However, it is worrisome that by far most have not had the option to get to the child care system because of overpowering numbers. However, the Department of Social Development is working towards resolving these challenges and by enacting tightened laws. Also noting that the bill seeks to constitute the Inspectorate for Social Assistance as a government component instead of a government department as currently provided for in Principles Act. The National Development Plan calls for inclusive economic growth and employment creation as key strategy for tackling the structural cause, poverty and inequality in the country. Accordingly, the ANC-led government has shown its commitment by operating a large-scale non-contributory social grant system that assume a critical part in combating poverty and imbalancing. The old age grant has gotten one of the essential source of income for the elderly and the children as they cannot carry out their family and societal role. Likewise, children living in poverty often experience numerous elements of hardship, including malnutrition, restricted admittance to quality services, and poor living conditions. And the hindering effects of this can have long-haul ramifications of children. For example, restricted choices and later increase the probability of their own children experiencing childhood in poverty, further entrenching in mischief and desperating. Hence, this argument will be effective in improving the status of the elderly and the children as social grant provide recipient with choice in how best to meet one's changing needs, upholding human dignity and can impact on a range of productive outcomes. Closing, Chair, social grants have demonstrated to be an important tool for improving the condition of children. The elderly and Chairperson, the ANC support the bill.
Thank you. Thank you. The next member for 5 minutes is Honorable N.J. Nkwanyana of the IFP.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Inkatha Freedom Party supports the intent of the bill as it seeks to implement the extended child support grant, regularize this additional payment of the older persons grant for people over 75 years of age, and to facilitate the establishment of an inspectorate for social assistance. The IFP is of the view that the establishment of an inspectorate for social assistance will go a long way in rooting out fraud and corrupt activities within the social welfare system. Recently, there has been a number of complaints of grants not being received by the registered beneficiary and even increasing fraudulent activity within the department, SASSA, even in South African Post Office. When the new SASSA cards came into being a few years ago, we were assured that these cards and this new system could not be hacked by fraudsters. But we are seeing an increase of fraud cases and even people being caught with stacks of SASSA cards, as was the recent case of a police officer who was arrested with a number of SASSA cards. The establishment of the Inspectorate for Social Assistance is properly implemented, certainly assist in curbing fraud and corruption. Noting that the foster care grant and the foster care system was originally designed for children in need of care of support, this bill seeks to, in fact, bypass the social worker and court processes due to the high number of offences in the country, which is clogging up the system for processing foster child benefits, which has administrative challenges. As the IFP, we are concerned that without a report from a social worker and a legal and the legal placement of a child with a family, both the child and the family will not be protected in the event of any legal matters that might arise. I have concerns with regard to a child being placed with families without going through the court processes and having a legal placement document which will give protection to the child and give legal rights to the parents. What would prevent the parent from abandoning the child after collecting the increase of child support grant after a few years? Will there be any legal protection for the parent should the child commit a crime? In the absence of a legal court order, what will prevent a social worker from colluding with a potential family to place children with them and collect a kickback every month? The child support grant should not become a cash cow for either potential replacement families or social worker. By increasing this child support grant and doing away with the court processes, we will be throwing money at the problem of congested courts and sacrificing the best interest of our children. The IFRI proposes that since we have the children's court, one day in a week or fortnight or a month, depending on the number of cases coming before a particular court, be set aside only to hear foster care cases. This will not require additional funding or resources, but will need to be discussed by the Department of Justice and Social Development. Honorable Speaker, I must record the concern of the IFP because after the Social Development Portfolio Committee did all that.
Mama Nkwanyane, you are no longer audible, Mama. Mhlonishwa.
Honorable Speaker, I must record the concern of the IFP, because after the Social Development Portfolio Committee did all that was necessary in conducting two public hearings and taking submissions from interested organizations and individuals, the KZN negotiating mandate was simply noted by the Select Committee on Health and Social Services. We should have been given an opportunity to motivate or explain the submissions we were making in the negotiating mandate, since time and resources were invested in preparing it. The public at large will not take us seriously in the future if their inputs are not valued. As a province, we must not be seen to be just rubber stamping what comes from national. The Inkatha Freedom Party supports the Social Assistance Amendment Bill. Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker for 4 minutes is Honourable Arab of the DA.
Thank you, Speaker. Honourable members, ladies and gentlemen, there are a few most welcomed amendments to the bill, which the DA is pleased about. The amended bill before us includes the payments of the 350 unemployment grant during lockdown, a small increase for those elderly on their pension once they reach the ripe old age of 70 years, as well as an updated amount for foster care placement, all of which is definitely a step in the right direction. The DA feels that the biggest win, however, is the fact that the bill will now allow for foster placement of our vulnerable children in the foster care system. We cannot hide from the issue that our foster care system is a massive failure throughout the country. Given the dire statistics of foster care placement in South Africa, we cannot deny that the amendment covers a range of issues that are in need of attention, and we certainly look forward to the change it will bring about in our society as a whole. Considering that going forward, in most instances, our inept judiciary is now kept out of the so-called red tape in terms of the foster care placements. At last, we are able to see, at last, we can strive to provide a much-needed home to each of the 1 million orphans in South Africa. If we can do this, they will be taken care of sooner rather than later, or should I say sooner rather than never. There is one concern, and it's a massive concern. It is something that the Department of Social Development will need to work on with the urgency it deserves. This is also not the first time the DA has raised this, but now more than ever it needs to be addressed if we are to ensure that the new amendment works and works well, and that is the issue of qualified social workers, or rather lack thereof. It is no secret that the department lacks the capacity to roll out the new amendment regarding foster care placement. This is due to the insufficient number of qualified social workers employed by the department. Whilst we are pleased that we can now use qualified social workers to visit and verify homes of these vulnerable children before they are placed, it won't help if we don't have enough of these skilled and essential service professionals employed by the department in order to do this effectively, or rather at all. Given the current circumstances and unemployment rate in our country, I was horrified to read that last week unemployed social workers gathered in a legal and peaceful march outside of the Pietermaritzburg DSD offices, and they were shot with rubber bullets and had tear gas thrown at them. We need these people. It is incumbent on the department to provide employment to qualified social workers, especially given that they themselves have provided the bursaries for these people to become qualified in the first place. I truly hope that the department will put the requisite time, effort, and resources into ensuring that this matter is dealt with effectively and speedily. It is, after all, that they are mandated to do. We will be watching closely. In closing, I'd like to remind the MEC and her department that they should heed the words of Dwight Eisenhower, who said, and I quote, "Plans are nothing. Planning is everything." Close quote. Start now. Honourable Speaker, I wish to confirm that the Democratic Alliance supports the Social Assistance Amendment Bill, and we look forward to the relief it will bring to our communities. I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The next speaker on our list for 3 minutes is Honorable G.F. Mjali of the EFF. Honorable Mjali.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. Can you hear me, Speaker?
That's Honorable Paipeli. I recognize you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Speaker.
What are you raising on, Honorable Paipeli?
I'm debating on behalf of Honorable Mjali, as the Honorable Mjali is not in the sitting today.
Honorable Paipeli, the rules allow you to speak on behalf of the other member, but you also have to make the presiding officer aware. You cannot just say, when we say Honorable Mjali, and then an honorable member who is Honorable Paipeli say, "Thank you, Honorable Speaker." Rule 73 allows you to do that. But administratively, and it's what it has been happening and how practice has been like that, you must make the presiding officer aware. I will indulge you on this instance, but in future you must make the presiding officer or those that are responsible of the speakers list aware of the change.
Okay, Speaker.
You can go ahead, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Speaker. We judge the wealth of a nation not just by its economic model and progress, but by its ability to care for the need. The province of KZN...
Honorable Paipeli, is your camera on, Madam?
Yes, Speaker. It's on.
No, it's not on. I am sitting with IT. Yes. Now it's on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we can see you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. We judge the wealth of a nation not just by its economic model and progress, but by its ability to care for the need. The province of KZN is home to grave inequality, child-headed families, struggling foster children, and a poor institutional memory of sufficient welfare to the most vulnerable. We acknowledge the aforementioned bill as well as its much needed and acknowledgement, particularly in being a change driver in the livelihood of the most vulnerable. We have seen just how inhuman the life of child-headed families, foster children, people with disabilities, and the most vulnerable has been affected by disaster, poverty, and a lack of structural development. We understand just important is for this bill for the vulnerable in terms of Section 42 of the Constitution. The National Council of Provinces represents provinces to ensure that provincial interests are considered in the national sphere of government by participating in the national legislative process. It is for the reason that we welcome the intervention of the National Council and its swift pronouncement on this issue. However, we are gravely concerned on the financial consequences of this act, particularly around the pronouncement of this national treasurer. We are aware that the National Treasury has made a provisional allocation of 524 million and 1,487 billion for the implementation of the additional payments for the child support grants during the 2019, 2020, and 2021 financial years, respectively, and that this policy will only be implemented if funding is approved. Our concern is the power to empower the minister responsible for social development with the concurrence of the Minister of Finance to make additional amounts available to social grants. There has been a malicious tendency of social development officers and senior officials to steal and mismanage state resources at the expense of the very vulnerable people. The office is not serving the intended vulnerable people who need it most. We require and recommended systems to be prescribedly surrounding additional.
Your time has expired, my colleague.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, ma'am. The next speaker for 1 minute is Honorable V.R. Mlotshwa of the NFP.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We acknowledge and support the amendment social assistance bill on the matter of appeals against tribunal, which will provide.
Honorable Mlotshwa?
Madam Speaker.
Is your camera on, Honorable Member?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, is on.
Is it on? Switch it on again. Now
yes, I've already switched on.
Ayabona manje kuvele lokhu okuyicamera ecishiwe baba.
Let me try, Speaker.
Yeah, no, because the time we have stopped.
Okay, Speaker. On the matter of appeals against tribunal.
Honorable Member, remember the rules. You have switched off your camera. You have switched off the recording ability now. No longer switched off the camera. You have switched off the recording ability. Switch on the camera and switch on the recording ability and switch on the camera. Otherwise, I will not be able to allow you to go forth.
Speaker, the camera is on my side. It's on, Speaker.
Honorable Ntuli, switch off or mute your mic, please. MEC Ntuli. Press your video, Honorable Mlotshwa. Just press on the video. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I just said yes, then you went off again. Continue, IT will be helping you on the side.
Thank you. On the matter of appeals against tribunal, which will provide an opportunity for beneficiaries to appeal against the decision taken by the agency. Furthermore, the independent tribunal will bring surety and accountability on the decision by the agency against beneficiaries. We acknowledge and accept the amendment of Section 29 Act of 13 of 2014 by the substitution in subsection 2 for paragraph A of the following paragraph. I think, Honourable Speaker, by this we fully support the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Uzawashiyakelwa isikhathi. The next speaker for 1 minute is Honorable Esther Rajbanzi of the MF.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Portfolio Committee has deliberated at length with key stakeholders on various positive amendments to the Social Assistance Amendment Bill 2018, which has a strong focus on changing the lives of children. The MF has strongly argued that this is an opportune time to equally focus on the value of our mothers. Historically, widows have believed in the institution of marriage but have not been covered by the current existing welfare grant and are neglected by social development, yet mothers are major stakeholders in terms of moral regeneration in South Africa. So with this in mind, the MF supports the amended Social Assistance Amendment Bill 2018 on the premise that 16 years later, the Honourable Minister of Social Development and Finance, whom the bill gives wide-ranging decision-making powers, seriously considers the introduction of a widow support grant. Honourable members, widows are very vulnerable and they fall to the cracks of social welfare safety net. The MF strongly believes that an essential grant will further contribute to the envisaged comprehensive social security framework for South Africa as prescribed by NDP 2030. Thank you. We support this bill.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next member is Honourable M.E. Phakathi of the ATM. I am made aware that he is having connection problems. I have advised that before Honourable Mtshali comes in, if he is still having connection problem, he's going to alert us which member will be taking his speech. For now, I will move to the next speaker, Honourable S.E. Manqele of the ACDP. Honourable S.E. Manqele of the ACDP for 1 minute. He is not in the house. Then I'll go back to Honourable M.E. Phakathi of the ATM. Is there any member that has been given yet? Honourable Mlotshwa, is there any member in your members that has been given a speech yet by Honourable Phakathi of the ATM?
No member, Honourable Speaker.
Now I will move because he made us aware that he's having connectivity problems. Now I will move for 9 minutes. The next member for 9 minutes is Honourable T.S. Mtshali of the ANC. Honourable Manjinga.
Thanks, Honourable Speaker. The MEC of DSD, Honourable Khoza, Portfolio Committee Chair, Honourable Swartboy Ntombela, Honourable members of the House, please receive my greetings. Honourable Speaker, allow me to start by condemning what really took place in Senegal, in Free State, that we call upon any criminal that kills farmers to be arrested and be dealt with. But equally, we do want to send a clear message that in South Africa, there is no longer any white supremacy. That incident that took place there, police must decisively deal with all the wrongdoers, bring them to justice so that they know that this is not a banana republic. They must subject to themselves to the law, irrespective of how they feel about what had transpired. We don't want to ever again see such in our country. Therefore, justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. We call on the police to act. Honourable Speaker, we're debating today. In 2019, the ANC was going to its elections. On its manifesto, it made a commitment to the people that it will continue to accelerate comprehensive social security. And this is what it said on its manifesto, and I quote, "Social security is a necessity for the social well-being of the people. Despite major achievements made to provide adequate social security coverage since 1994, there are those who are not covered by the existing programs, affecting those who work and those that are unable to work. Over the next 5 years, the ANC will make a comprehensive social security coverage as a major priority," close quote. Today, Honorable Speaker, we are debating on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill. This is part of the ANC keeping its promise, as was made in our manifesto to our people. And this is what it also said, Honorable Speaker. It defined that, and I quote, it defined a basket of social security benefits that all should access with the delivery of a package of service free from the administrative burdens. This bill seeks to ease the administrative burdens that our people have been subjected to. It further went on to say that it will address social grants exclusion errors by improving, which is targeting on orphans, children, age on farms, remote rural areas, and disabilities. It also concluded that it will also deal with the issue of support for child-headed families through social security. This bill, Honorable Speaker, serves as the breakthrough to a child-headed house families. Clearly, the ANC is on track to deliver to its promise. This bill deals with the additional amount to old age as an indication that the ANC is a caring government. Somlomo, the shortening period of the appeal process will assist to ease the time frame with which in the past our people have been subjected to, which was taking longer to finalize it. And this proves that we are a listening government, because we have done an assessment and we have accepted that we can no longer continue to take such a time frame that we're taking. But Honorable Speaker, the establishment of the independent tribunal, which will assist the beneficiaries to be able to lodge appeals on an independent body rather than to lodge appeals to SASSA. It will also deal with fraud and corruption that occurs during the process of grant administration. Also, it allows our people not to be subjected to the same person who rejected their application to be the one also who decide whether they are granting them or not. Somlomo wethu. Further, the ANC have been firm in terms of how we are going to deal with corruption. We are not just saying it, but we are practical about it. This bill deals with clear plans that will address the issue of fighting corruption. That is why we welcome the establishment of the Internal Inspectorate as the government component that will deal with fraud and corruption. This is a clear commitment that the ANC have made in practically dealing and fighting corruption jointly with our people. The foster care grant is a serious breakthrough because currently some of these children, Honorable Speaker, turn the age of 18 years without having been presented before the Children's Court, and thus missing the opportunity of getting foster care grant. And this bill changes all of that. So indeed, it is a game changer, Honorable Speaker. But we must caution the DA. They have just accused our department that we are employing unqualified personnel or social workers. It is the very same government that first provide bursaries to these social workers for them to go and get the necessary education. Once they get the qualification, it is the same government again that employs these social workers. So it is an insult to not only to these workers, but also to the department to argue that we have people within the department, especially social workers, who are unqualified. I will understand, because within them, an education of a young black child that gives him a qualification, it is always understood that there's no qualification, because how could they be employed? But they are employed because as the ANC government, we created a conducive environment for them first to access education, because we believe in what the Freedom Charter have said, that the doors of learning shall be open to all. That is why we provide bursaries for them. After they get the qualification, we then employ them. We accept that we have not been able to employ everyone, but the number of young people or social workers that have been employed, it confirms the clear indication that as an ANC-led government, we are clear and we are practical in creating employment for our people. Honorable Baipeli, I think I understand, because you you're saying that the bill is not dealing with the issues of corruption, but I've accepted, Honorable Member, that you have not read the bill. You are just reading from something that was written for you, because had you read the bill, you would have understood the components that have been created within the bill in decisively dealing with the issue of corruption and fraud within the department. So we do want to say, Honorable Speaker, this process, as we have made a commitment to our manifesto as an ANC, we did not just make a promise. We are now keeping our promise by practically implementing it through this bill. We understand that over the years, there are many challenges that they've seen, that have been subjected to. As a listening organization, we have been able to articulate the views of our people. And we must thank our people who came out in their numbers. The debate today by all the opposition parties, it's a reflection of what we have been receiving on the ground. And we must report to you, Speaker, that our people on the ground are very happy about this bill. Our people on the ground are saying to the ANC-led government, you are doing well to ensure that you cater for us, those that are most vulnerable. And it is on those bases that even those that want to critique the bill, even those that want to critique the department, don't really have anything to say, because in the end they accept and they endorse the bill. But because they must play politics here, they must come and raise unfounded allegations of unqualified workers. Now, it is on this basis, Honorable Speaker, that we do say to our people, as a commitment that we have made to our manifesto, that we will deal and accelerate the comprehensive social security. It is on this basis that today we are here reporting kini nabantu bakithi ukuthi njengoba sasithembisile ke sesiqhubela phambili singuhulumeni owenza izithembiso azifeze siyazi ukuthi okunye asikafinyeleli kona kodwa ke asimile siyaqhubha siyaphambili. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to confirm that the ANC support the bill. The ANC is clear that also including the issues of the funding that must be allocated. Hence, we're happy with the capacity within the department that will be able to decisively implement this bill. Hence, we oppose any view that suggests that the department does not have the necessary capacity to implement this bill. Now, we do want to urge the MEC to ensure that as they work within the department, they popularize this bill. They ensure that our people knows their rights. They ensure that our people knows what is it that they need to do as they undergo processes that are reflected on this bill. But this is a bill for the people. This is a bill that is designed to benefit our people, in particular those that are most vulnerable within our society. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, the ANC has confirmed through its manifesto that it will do this, and we are doing it, and we do want to say the ANC support the bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mtali. Now, the next speaker for 5 minutes to give responses to the debate is the chairperson of the Social Development Portfolio Committee, Honorable G.N. Swart-Bointombela. Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank all those who participated in the debate of the Social Assistance Amendment Bill B8B 2018. I would like to also extend my sincere appreciation to all the members of the Portfolio Committee of Social Development for their commitment and dedication, working under stressful conditions to ensure that public hearings are held. The Social Assistance Bill B8B 2018 is a very straightforward bill, and it does not have any controversies at all. It is a technical bill. However, I just want to thank the following members. Honorable Mbataqele, you have empowered us. It shows that you understood the bill, and thank you for supporting the bill. Honorable Nkwanyana, we all raised the concerns of the fact that we did not get responses from the NCOP on the issues that were raised. However, we received an assurance that some of our comments were noted, and there will be future technical amendments to the Act or regulations will be formulated to accommodate the committee's proposals. But thank you, Honorable Member, for supporting the bill. Honorable Elma Rapa, for the first time, Honorable Rapa, it is for the first time to thank you, Honorable Rapa, for supporting the bill without any reservations. However, Honorable Rapa, on the issue of the departments implementing the bill, we are all obliged to play our oversight over the department to see to it that the department does implement the bill. On the issue of the rolling out of qualified social workers, the March of social workers was attended by HOD, by the way, and the HOD was there, and she's accepted the referendum, and that is what we know. We need a case number if it is true that social workers that are employed by the department are not qualified, so that we can follow it up, because it shows that you have got an inside information that we do not have, as you always do, because you always get information that we don't have as members of the portfolio committee. Even myself as the chairperson, sometimes the information that you get, sometimes it is too administrative to show that you have got an inside person within the department that gives you the information. So just tell us who is that person who is giving you that information, so that we can follow it up. Honorable Mlodra, thank you for supporting the bill. And Honorable Mpaipeli of the EFF, thank you for your inputs. However, you tried your best because you were not part of the briefing, you were not part of the public hearings, and it shows that you do not even understand the bill whatsoever. Honorable Thakur Rajbansi, the issue of widows was attended and supported by the committee in the negotiating mandate. It is a policy issue. However, I thank you for supporting the bill. Honorable Sibonelo Mtshali, you were on point, and you have empowered us with regard to the roles of the independent tribunal vis-a-vis the internal inspectorate. Indeed, it shows that government cares about the people. This is the bill for the people. Thank you very much. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, I would like to also extend my appreciation to the political head of the department, Honorable Nonhlanhla Khoza, the MEC of the department, as well as the officials of the department. And they were very supportive when we were holding these public hearings, as well as SASA. We thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chairperson. And thank you to all of you, honorable members. We have now come to the end of the debate on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill, B8B 2018. The House now needs to confer a final and voting mandate on the bill. As I indicated previously, only the members that have already joined the sessions are now present and a part of the sitting will be counted unless they wish to express a dissenting vote or abstention. And a member who joined the sitting after their party vote has been taken will not be counted. They would not have been legally present in the sitting at the time of their party voting. As per the request of the Social Development Portfolio Committee, I now put the question to the members in the House, which is as follows. The KwaZulu-Natal Legislature agrees to confer authority on 1. The KZN Provincial Delegation to the NCOP to cast a vote in favor of the Social Assistance Amendment Bill, B8B 2018, at the relevant NCOP Select Committee. And 2, the head of the provincial delegation to the NCOP or a delegate designated by the head of the delegation to cast a vote in favor of the Social Development Bill, B8B 2018, at the NCOP plenary. As I indicated prior to the start of the debate, I will now go party by party to obtain the vote and thereafter check if any member wishes to record an individual vote. I will start with the IFP. IFP, is it a yes or a no?
Honorable Speaker.
Can I see the face?
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member.
The IFP supports the bill.
Yes, Honorable Ndimande, I can see the face. DA.
Honorable Speaker, the DA support the bill.
Can I see the face?
Hey, my camera.
Can I see the face?
The DA support the
Yes.
bill, Speaker. DA support the bill.
Honorable Dube, can you allow me to preside? Honorable Mwango, you are not dressed according to the rules of the House. Honorable Mwango, leader of the DA. Honorable Mwango.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
You are not dressed according to the rules of the House.
Honorable Speaker, the DA support the bill.
No, Honorable Member, I am speaking to you about how you are dressed. I have recorded your vote. I have recorded your vote, but you are not dressed properly according to the rules of the House. I am calling upon members that they must dress properly and respect the House, whether it's on virtual means or it's on physical means. The House must be respected. It's the House. EFF.
Thank you, Speaker. EFF supported the bill.
The EFF supports NFP.
Honorable Speaker, the NFP is supporting the bill.
Show the face, Honorable Mlocha. There is a problem with this non-showing of the face. I know what it's because
I'm
trying
by all means, Speaker.
We started sitting on these virtual platforms in March. We all should be able now to make our gadgets work, unless there's something we want to hide. I too do attend to Honorable Mlocha so that we don't experience this camera excuse again. Honorable MF. MF, Honorable Thakur Rajpanse. Honorable Thakur Rajpanse. Honorable Thakur Rajpanse, when I look on the names and the list of attendees, she's there, but she's silent. I will take that as an abstention for now. ACDP is not here. ATM. I looked on the attendees. ATM is not there on the list. When I look there, I do not see ACDP. I do not see ATM. ANC.
The ANC supports the bill, Speaker. Thank you.
Image Mnguni angikuboni nje lana.
Uspika uvale camera yakhe.
Ngivalile, ngiyakubona manje. Yes, you are
The
the
ANC support, Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, the members that are present in the House are 57, and now I want to check whether there is any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party or to abstain. Honorable members, is there any member that wishes to express an individual vote or wishes to abstain? Secretary? Secretary, can you give me the votes?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The voting results are as follows. Votes in favor, 55. Votes against, no. Abstentions, no. Although it's recorded as 57 present, two votes were not recorded from the MF and the ACDP, so it's actually votes in favor 55, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I will record that votes in favor is 55. And the two votes, we will put them, because they appear as present, we will put them as abstention for purposes of the record. The yes have it. So our delegates in the NCOP will vote in favor of the Social Assistance Amendment Bill. That is the mandate that they have. That brings us to the end of the item on the order paper, which was concerning the mandate on the Social Assistance Amendment Bill. And the end of the, but before we go to the end of the order paper, I can note that the Honorable Premier is with us. We could not have an announcement or report from the Premier. Honorable Premier, do you have any announcements or reports that you wish to table before the House?
Thank
Honorable
you.
Premier.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to you, Honorable Speaker, and to all honorable members of the House. My sincere apology for joining late. Honorable Speaker, for today, we have no announcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. Your apology was also recorded earlier on and we accepted it. Honorable members, we have come to the end of the House. The House is adjourned until Thursday. Thank you.
Order, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Siyathokoza.